Hey, welcome to or welcome back to my channel, IndieAuthor Jill. What is my hair doing today? Who knows? It's doing things. Um, so I just wanted to hop on and share this video because I've gotten a couple of questions through DMs and whatnot of um and I appreciate it. People asking me if they asking for permission to send a copy of their book to me. And so I figured, I always say, yes, if you want to send a book to me, you can absolutely send a book to me. I always link my mailing address in the descriptions of each video for that very reason. But I figured I'd come on here and just kind of do an open invitation. Um, so if you've been following my channel a while, you know that I read a wide variety of things. There's not really a lot of genres I don't read. I read historical fiction, nonfiction, biographies, um, general fiction, literary fiction, romance, fantasy, romantasy. Um, yeah, there's not really anything I don't read, and there are some genres that are like less my thing. Like I will read some thrillers and murder mysteries. I used to devour cozy mysteries in my like 30s. Um they're just fun. I don't know. I like exploring other worlds. It doesn't matter if it's a fairy world or a superhero world or whatever, or if it's just Manhattan. you know, I like I read just about everything. Um, the thing I want to point out is one of the reasons why I tell people you don't have to send me a book is because, like, genuinely, obviously, you do not have to send me a book. Almost every book on my shelf, I have over 100 books on my shelf. Almost every single one of them I have bought myself. I think there's maybe two or three that people have sent me. Um, so if for those of you who want to have me buy your book, the way I choose the books that I buy is just follow me over on Threads, Indie Author Jill, and I usually put out calls and invitations there of, hey, drop a link. And sometimes it's a very general of, hey, I'm going to buy X amount of books, drop your link. And I usually have, specifics of it has to be a physical book because I spend so much time on a screen. I don't read on a Kindle. Um, so it has to be a physical book that I can like read to give my eyes a break from screens. It has to be self-published or indie authored. If you publish through an independent publisher, publishing house, that's fine. If you went through a vanity press, that's fine. Um, just as long as it's not traditionally published and um uh so that's usually the biggest things that I have for um the threads. If I'm doing just a general call out, it's a hey, drop a link if you have. I'm gonna buy, like I said, I'll say 10 books. Last October or last August, um I actually did a 100 book challenge where I sent out a call and I on threads and said, hey, um, drop a link for your book and on this particular post, and then I will, if more than 100 books get dropped or linked, then I will put them on a wheel, and then I will let the wheel generator uh, pick a book. Other times it's been, hey, I'm gonna pick 10 books, or I need a book, and if I need a specific book, like for reading challenges, like for let's say Herkid 3.0, the biggest one I'm having the hardest square I'm having with Herkid 3.0 is the periodic elements, you know? So right now I have Bond of Iron. So if I were going to do a thread post on that, I would say, hey, indie authors, drop a link to a physical book that you have, where the title, one of the words in the title is a element from the periodic table, that isn't iron, because I already have iron, and then people would drop their thing. And because there's 5 squares on 5 books I have to read for that particular square, I would only pick maybe 4 of those. So if you had a book, let's say you had a book called Silver and Gold, and um I don't know if silver is on the periodic table. Gold is definitely. I don't Science was not my strong suit, so don't come at me, all right? Um, but gold is definitely on the periodic um, table, and so if you had a title that had gold in it and you decided, okay, I will drop my book link on this post because it matches everything, it's self-published, it's a physical book, and it has an element in it. Um, then the question becomes, you're competing against several other people who are putting their dropping their links, and gold is one of those like common elements that people might put on there as a title, in their title. So you might be up against 5 or 10 other people who have gold in the title on threads, and I may decide that I don't want, I may go through and just, and usually I have my niece help me pick, because I enjoy different genres, rather than just picking something based on vibes. I'll usually have my niece come through and she'll pick, and she always picks based on book cover. But other times I'll just put it on, again, if there's a lot of them, then I put it on a wheel and let the wheel decide which ones I buy. The thing is, as a self-published author myself, I have been where you guys are. I'm still where you guys are, where I'm on threads and people say, "Hey, drop a link to your book," and I drop a link to my book, and nobody buys it. And it's one of those: are they genuinely buying a book? And like, for me, as like, as much as I want them to buy my book, I don't care if they don't buy my book, as long as they buy somebody's, you know and because that's what I do. Like, I may not buy every book that gets linked to me, but I'm going to buy at least one, depending on what I've asked for. So I might, at one point, I was doing a reading challenge where I needed to do something with a red cover. So I asked for people to drop a link of their books that had red covers, and um, I chose one of those. Which one did I choose, actually? I think it was, I I bet I've already read it. Yes, I did. It was Trouble on the Inside. It was a murder mystery thriller. Um that was the one that I chose for, like, the red cover. Um Trying to think what I chose for the blue cover. But you know what I mean, right? So, um, or like I chose the King of Ithaca for a green cover, when I made that announcement. But like, I when you're doing that, obviously there's that question of, are they actually buying a book from this list, or are they just doing this for engagement? And the engagement ones are the most annoying because we put so much time and energy in to, first of all, crafting our books, um, which is one of the reasons why indie authors like me get irritated with AI made books, because first of all, the best part of writing the book is actually writing the book. The research, maybe not so much. The marketing, absolutely terrible. The editing, seriously, what is going on with my hair today? Um, the marketing, the editing is grueling, but the writing of the book, the actual writing of the book, the developing a character and making that character come to life, and figuring out how they would, putting him in situations and just like, okay, this character absolutely would not act that way, and like, I'd like, why did my Ayo guy suddenly sound like he swallowed a dictionary? Yeah, he knows about this subject and he's very well versed on this subject, but he's not going to dictionary regurgitate the facts. He's still going to describe it and explain it in an Ayo kind of vibe, you know. So going through and fine tuning and fleshing out your characters, like those are my favorite parts about writing. And for someone to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to write a book and I'm just going to have AI, hey, write me a book about a kid who was prophesied to save the world from a dragon," or something like that. And it's like, why wouldn't you just write that book? Like, that's the whole point of writing the book. That's the best part, you know? I was like, meanwhile, you can't get AI to forge a doctor's note so that you don't have to spend $50 to go to the doctor for a sniffle, so that you can stay home and actually take care of yourself. You got to go to the urgent care and have them like, yeah, here's your doctor's note. I told her to go home and rest. Yeah, I know that. I know how to take care of myself when I have a sniffle, but no, AI is not going to write you a doctor's note, but they'll write you a whole book and take the whole fun out of writing a book. Um, Sorry, side rant. uh, but no. So the benefit of like I said, you don't have to send me a book. You can just follow me on Threads and find those calls to submit, and I will buy a book from what is listed. Sending me a book just guarantees it gets on my shelf, and books that get sent to me, I do I do incorporate into my reading schedule, because there are writers. There's actually a writer that I need to get to fairly soon, if I can, that sent me a book, and I've been trying to get to it. Um, I and like I said, I am gonna get to all of these books. I am reading all of these books. My goal is to clear the shelf so I can do another large book buying thing. Um, so But I gotta have space on the shelves to do that, right? I have very limited bookshelves and very little space to build more bookshelves. I have jokingly talked to my husband and told him that he needs to just add another room onto the house that we can turn into our private library. He is not as gung ho about that as I am. So, I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll commandeer his office and turn it into a library against his will. Um, See how well that works. I mean, he's got a whole weaving loom in there, believe it or not. So, anyway, so yeah, again, like I said, this is an open invitation. If you want to send me a book, again, you do not have to. You can just follow me on Threads and catch my call outs there, and I will buy a book. And hopefully it will be one of yours. But if you do want to send me a book, understand you don't. You can avoid the whole awkwardness of asking me, because I know that some of the people that were asking me, they're like, "Hey, I know this might be a little forward or this might be a little awkward. Don't feel awkward about it." So if you're wanting to send me a book and you're feeling awkward about asking me, and you're like, "No, that I," go ahead and send me a book. I absolutely. I'll even do unboxing videos to highlight your books. I enjoy doing the unboxing videos. I do it for the books that I buy half the time. So, um, but yeah, that's your open invitation. If you want to send me a book, you can. Again, you don't have to. You can just follow me on Threads and join in that community and find me there to follow me for when I'm post a hey, I'm looking for books and post your link there. And maybe I'll end up buying your book. That's again, that's how all of these books got here because somebody posted on answered my threads call, and that's how I got things like uh oh, come here, the tides that bind is they that was the orange cover that I chose when I asked for orange covers when I was doing the 100 books. I think that got selected, or that, you know, um yeah, these are part of the 100 books that I bought. So yeah, that's a cool picture. Dice moves for no one. The author picture. That's good. That's a cool picture. Yeah. So um, or and yes, I live in the United States, but again, um, the originals return. That was one of them that was on the 100 book things, and it was written by David Watkins, who lives in Devon in the UK. I have read authors from Africa and India. Um, so where you live doesn't matter. Like I said, you can, you don't have to, but I just wanted to come on here and put the open invitation so that if there's anybody out there who is wanting to send me a book, but they feel like reaching out would be awkward, or they're like, I wish I could just send them a book. Go ahead and send me a book. It's not going to upset me. And the address is there. That's why the address is there. So that if you want to send me anything, even if it's just a note, uh, you know, um, I will absolutely geek out about fan mail, honestly. And that's what I've mostly gotten in that is fan mail. I've had people send me stickers or bookmarks. That go with the book. Like I've reviewed their book and they're like, "Hey, I like the review, so I'm going to send you some bookmarks or stickers or cards or whatever." And they've been great. I enjoy the fan mail. Um I also use that post office box when I'm buying mail, just so that I don't have a bunch of books showing up on my doorstep. I live in a very quiet community. I don't have to worry about people stealing packages, but I don't want to ever have to worry about someone stealing packages. So I just send anytime I order books, I just send them through the post office. So, like, but like I said, you're more than welcome to send me books, stickers, fan mail, bookmarks, whatever you want. Um, Providing that it's not dangerous or illegal. Um, uh, I would prefer not to be sent any food. Um, just as a safety precaution. Um, but other than that, non-edible things that are perfectly legal and not harmful, sure. Um, but yeah, that's I like I said, I just wanted to get on here and let people know that if they did want to send me a book, they could, and that they don't have to feel awkward, and they can bypass the whole how do I word this request of hey, would it be weird if I sent you a book? No, it won't be weird if you send me a book. Absolutely send me a book. It's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. Again, if you uh would rather take the chance of me buying a book, then follow me on Threads. Um, and comment on the post that I have when I make a call for um, books that I'm going to be buying. Um, so, other than that, I will see you guys later. if you want to buy one of my books, I will link one in the description below along with the address. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.